You.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird world. Welcome to Yes, Biscuit did in fact steal a whole ass cracker. That moldy avocado bastard. I mean, down to Dublin.
God.
When it stops dying, we'll continue.
And he threw it on the floor.
Just
Oh,
like your
Lord.
hopes and dreams, Kim, on the floor.
Yeah.
This evening's scene is going to take place just outside the St. Mary Hill Theatre, also known as the home of Nightshade, the enigmatic Bata Ah, who has been summoned or rather requested to help Eliza Hoth deal with a specific matter close to her heart, shall we say. Nightshade is leaning outside the theatre. It's quite late in the evening. He said that he would see you, but he had to see you after this evening's performance. So it's about 1 o'clock in the morning by the time he says that he can meet you. He drags a cigarette out of the box with his teeth before lighting it with a Zippo lighter. As he leans against the doorway. So, Miss Oth, how is it that I can help you?
I need a personal favor.
Well, it depends upon the nature of the thing, but I am ever always at your service if it is within my ability to do so.
I lack the capabilities of locating someone, and I was hoping you might have those.
That would depend. You'll see him flick a small coin around in his hand, in his fingers. He'll say, I would need some kind of sympathetic link, connection between you and the individual.
What about a name?
A name, no?
Yeah, a name that we both share.
Like a family name?
Yes.
That, mon ami, could do it. Fascinating. Whom is this individual who you want me to find?
Medrad Bani Dene.
By the way, quick question, Matt. Have you Googled the name?
Dene?
No. Mirdvad.
I have not.
It's something that Eliza would do, because I said this to my entire other chat and I was amazed no one did.
Let's see. Medrad. Okay. Mordred.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
As I said, because you're a big tech-savvy page, and oftentimes the first thing I do whenever I hear something is I plug it into Google just to see what Google says.
I did not think about this, but sure.
It's fine. That's why I give prompts, because you have the relevant skills. All right. It's at this moment in time that the edgiest of edge boys will come rounding a corner onto our little scene. This is just the way the path told you to walk this evening, Zephyr. You will make your way, you will turn. You will see two individuals standing outside a theater. One of them is pictured as shown, the other is Miss Eliza.
Kind of looks between the two of them. After a moment, she'll just say, am I interrupting something?
I mean, I don't know you are, so it's hard to say if you are needed to be here or not.
It is possible that I am, yes.
You can't lean in, Eliza. I'm sorry, do you know who the sixth member of My Chemical Romance over there is?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Those insults the first thing that's going to happen this evening.
I mean, I like My Chemical Romance, for all you know.
But that was said in a rather negative connotation and context.
Ah, forgive me, my English is not so good.
Wow, Evan.
Nor is mine.
On the side note, Nightshade speaks perfect English, but that's not here.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of look at him and say, nor is mine, but I still understand enough of it not to go around insulting people. And then blaming it on the fact that English is not my first language.
Look, I don't mean to come off as that bitch, but I'm really, really short in time. So might I ask your name?
Zephyranthes.
Well, that's a name.
Western Wind.
No. Not named after that. Named after a flower.
He kind of looks at Eliza. He says, according to Greek mythology, I believe it's Zephyr or Zephyrinthius is the Western Wind.
I have no idea. I know next to nothing about Greek mythology.
Well, you've just been informed, and now a little smarter.
Thank you. Hi, Zephyrantes. I'm Eliza. It's to meet you here under dubious circumstances.
On a side note, I'm curious if the ghosts of the city have always liked you as much as they seem to like you.
Ghosts of any city. Not just this one particularly. And it is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Eliza.
It's Eliza's fine. Please. I don't get why everybody's calling me Miss.
Nightshade, a pleasure to make your acquaintance, mademoiselle.
The pleasure is all mine, Nightshade.
If it helps, Miss Eliza, she is most assuredly one of us.
Well, the entropic coldness around her gave it away.
Are you two fighting over the cracker?
Yes. Thus, at that moment, Nightshade and Eliza got into a fist fight over a cracker.
Nightshade wins.
No, it fucking doesn't.
Bullshit, Eliza would shoot his ass.
Eliza would kill him in one shot.
Yeah, but not in a fist fight.
Stop it, you two. Here, there's one cracker for
Strength 1, you beat the shit out of him.
Whatever. Besides the point.
But, and why is it that you've decided to walk into my little corner of the world this evening, Miss Zephyrantes?
Zephyr is fine, and something told me that I should walk around here. And so I did.
And what is it that you're looking for with your eyes trying to see?
A person.
Oh, no.
What?
Are you looking for Danae?
Indeed. Oh, and Max, I forgot to mention, by the way, she speaks with a very, incredibly thick Greek accent.
Which I'm going to make Kim fist rap for my own amusement.
Oh, no. I'm gonna tell you, nah.
I'm only fucking with you. Continue.
See, might I ask, what is your purpose once you found him?
Conversation first. But he did kill quite a few people, and I need to see him for myself.
That actually depends on how much you refer to the other enemies as being people. It differs from person to person.
At the end of the day, regardless of if they were hermetics or not, they were still people. And After all, everyone who lives in a chantry is not always awakened. Sorcerers and whatnot are also there.
Sweetheart, in the thing it did say, spared anyone who didn't have an avatar.
Okay.
That wasn't the blurb that was written.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Sure. Sure. Conversation. Conversation is good. Conversation is a pleasant first step. Eliza looks a little very stressed. But yes, I'm sorry for the interruption. Actually, is that enough to find him or to locate him?
If you're both blood kin, share even the sympathetic connection that is family, even if it is adopted family or such, then it might be.
If he really is, then we both went through the same thing. He really is Danae, and we both went through the same thing. In which case, we're both children of Bon.
Then yes, there should be a connection. I can try to find it and open you a passageway if you wish.
Please, please, I need to talk to him and see if he's really who he says he is before this gets to utterly blown to Kingdom Come.
And I take it then, Miss Zephyranthes, that you would like to go along for the proverbial ride.
If allowed, I have no intention of inviting myself along to a family reunion.
Oh, we've never met. So, there.
When one walks into Alliance, then it is often better to have someone watch your back.
It's very true. And you know what? Like I said, conversation is a pleasant first step.
Nightshade reaches out and he places his hand. You see him spit on both of his fingers, on his forefingers, and he kind of massages it into with his thumb before he'll click his fingers twice. Then he puts those fingers, which are now dry, on Eliza's forehead, and he starts to chant in a kind of a. If any of you have ever heard the kind of, obviously Kim has that kind of very, very French Creole that they have in, the southern United States, particularly Louisiana, etc. Before he says in English, Papa Legba, guardian of the crossroads, keeper of the ways, I ask you to show me clearly the pathway that connects brother to brother, long since parted, but still family nonetheless. Open the ways, show me the path. As it is now, so it always is. Name for name, blood for blood. Come now, the way stands open. Agwe, Lord of the oceans and the seas, River Lord, Lord of reflection, show me clear and show me true, where it is the brother of the brother long since vanished stands. Show me his path, and we shall see hymns tomorrow. As you do this, you will see he holds out his hand again. He takes his glove off with his teeth, and he runs his finger along his hand, which cuts it much more deeply than you think it should, before he lets the blood trickle onto the ground beside him. An offering to show us the way, Papa Legba. You see the blood on the ground. There's not much of it, like a handful of drops, but it bubbles and it boils before it expands outwards until it's about a meter square, about a meter circumference circle, a perfect circle on the ground that appears to be made of roiling blood. Before the blood itself crystallizes like glass in a single moment, you almost hear it crack and shatter. And then sitting prettily inside, you see. Sorry. There we go. Sitting in the image, you see this. It's not a building that you've ever seen before, though it does appear to be in a modern city.
Where's this?
It's far, not that far. You'll see him raise his hand, and the image pans out ever so slightly until you can see a road sign, which says in commas, Main Street, Princess, Edinburgh City Centre, 3 kilometers or 3 miles.
You broke up there, Evan. Where was this?
1 second.
Hello?
Sorry, hang on just a second.
Oh, sure.
This is really weird. Just a moment.
Ba-da-ba. So how are we going to get there? By car? Yes.
I have a motorcycle.
That works as well.
This should be interesting.
Just after that. It says it says Prince's Way, 2 miles, Edinburgh City Centre, 3 miles.
Okay. That's in Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Not Scotland.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Not like it's going to be a long road trip.
Scotland. Scotland.
I can open the way for you if you want to go.
How would we get back?
He'll reach down and he'll offer his hand to Eliza.
She'll take it.
Using the same nail, he nicks your hand ever so slightly, just enough to draw a single bead of blood that he flicks into a small pot that he moves from the inner fold of his coat. And he says, "Just tell me to open the way again, and I can bring you home."
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Very good.
Before I forget, and she reaches down into her magical murder bag, reaches for Nightshade's hand and puts something in his hand. It's something I've been working on for the kids. It's a portable karaoke device. I like it.
I'm very pleased. I'm sure that they will be most glad. Thank you. Now, one moment as I gather my energies. If there's anything, do you? He looks at no. He takes on a very serious look, and Nightshade never serious, but he says, "What happens if the worst should occur? Is there someone you wish me to inform, or any message you would have me impart?"
Lottie. Please tell Lottie. Please tell her that. Well, it's in her hands at that point.
And you, Miss Zephyrin, or Zephyr?
If I were to die, I would trust me, anyone who I needed to speak to, I would have the capabilities of doing so. So you don't have to worry about me.
As you wish. He will bring his hands together in almost like a prayer before he will say, and the way snaps open. Before he points his finger down at basically the mirror that was formed of blood a moment ago, which shatters outwards, a cascading dance of bloody crystal shards. But standing in the center, there is a roiling maelstrom of energy sucking downwards, and he'll say, "That is your portal. I would recommend taking it now."
Thanks, Nightshade. And I will step into the portal.
Okay.
Zephyr will follow.
For a few split seconds, you get the distinct impression that you're not in Kansas anymore. Different mazes teleport in different ways, or apparate, or do as they do in various different ways. For example, the beaming technology used by the Society of Ether is not entirely unlike how you would think Star Trek beaming technology is. It's very cold, very clinical, very sterile. Whereas sometimes it feels like you're flying, sometimes it feels like you're falling. Here it feels almost like you are being submerged in a river of stagnant, cold water that fills your mouth and fills your lungs. For a split second, you're choking, and you sense many dozens of eyes locked on you as you pass through the crossroads, the realm of Papa Legba, the lower, the lower that keeps the crossroads and the guardian of the ways, until with a spinning whooshing, you find yourselves standing in a city street that is not too dissimilar from the one you left. It's in a built-up residential area, and outside of which you see the Scottish Museum of National History written in golden filigree on a sign. It's probably slightly colder here than it was where you left, but yeah, that is what you see.
All right.
Nightshade has also taken the liberty of having you appear in a darkened kind of, you assume, the back parking lot where you don't see anything akin to security cameras, etc. Because if you just popped into being in front of it, that would be interesting. That would be
That'd be
juicy.
weird. That'd be
Yeah.
strange. All right. So that was unpleasant, but okay. Eliza will pop her goggles on her head.
Okay, what are you looking for? Or what sights are on your goggles? Because I can't remember.
Life, matter, and forces.
Hmm. Life, matter, and forces. Surrounding the building, there is an incredibly powerful forces signature that is not too dissimilar to a forces warding effect to keep the building safe from various different things such as elemental assault, etc., etc., etc. You cannot see into the building, which also made you think that there would be some kind of other wards protecting it.
Okay. Eliza will take off her goggles for a moment, reach down into her bag, and pull out a phone, and will look through it through the camera, which will be her focus to activate correspondence site to check for specific like the nature of wards, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Discord decides to help me.
Help me, Discord. You're my only hope.
Help me! Wait, I should actually do it in the roles channel, shouldn't I? And not in the virtual
Possibly.
dice roll. Oh well. That's one success, which is enough.
You get a brief. You need. Do you want a brief flash, or do you want to actually turn it on?
I'll turn it on.
Okay.
I'll do another one. That's 2 successes.
Yeah, that's one to effect duration. There are no less than 13 wards on this building. It is incredibly heavily enchanted, incredibly heavily protected. However, as you watch, all of the wards simultaneously shatter violently.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit, she says out loud. We gotta move. We gotta move now. And, is there a door to enter the museum?
You have to go around to the front entrance of the museum.
There's no like staff entry?
There may be, but then again, you would have to force the door. And most of these are large security doors. If you've ever been to a museum, they tend to be quite picky when it comes to security.
True.
You can blow in the door if you'd like.
No, that's gonna cost too much attention. But Eliza's gonna say, Zephyr, we gotta move. And she pockets her phone, doesn't turn off the correspondence site on it, and puts her goggles on again.
There is a single life sign that is moving up towards the front door. You can also see the fact that there are about 20 to 30 life signs in the building now.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 fuck!
You might want to give poor Zephyr context. I just love the fact that you're having a mental breakdown and then she's having to going like,
Nah, she said to go, so Zephyr's.
It's exactly why she's not giving, because she's having a nervous fit in the moment. She's like, oh fuck, no.
Zephyr might be able to see it anyway. Let me see what site she's got on, because I know she's
that
got.
might be helpful, Kim.
No, that might be helpful.
No.
That's right. I haven't put any of her sites on. I just did mind shields and boosts and shit. So yeah, she ain't seeing shit.
Alright, as soon as you round the corner to within, you'd say comfortably about 50 feet of the front door, pegging it at a full run, every magical effect you have active on your person, from sights to fortitudes to anything like that, immediately shatters. It just boom.
On our person, or just...
Your items will also cease functioning. They will function as mundane items of the same kind.
Oh, that's not good. Actually, Evan.
Yes, dear.
Don't I have counter dice to that? I have the premium sword.
You do. Give me a second to think. No. However, you are the uniquely gifted to have a kind of, you have a taste of what this is like because you've encountered it before. Essentially, you know how the Technocratic Union are very good at enforcing their will on a given area, and the area becomes so static that it's difficult to change. Essentially, what are they called? They're very good with consensus words.
Okay.
It's reality generators, basically.
Okay. And is this one static in nature, or is it technocratic?
No,
or
it is something is enforcing its will in this physical area to the point that it's pushing down all other magic. But you also get the distinct impression that what's doing it before your neither one of you had prime set, did you?
Not active. Well, let me check real quick. Magical equipment list. Nope, not prime site.
Cool. If Eliza stops and steps back, though, past a certain point, the stuff works again. Literally, and if Zephyr does the same, if Zephyr steps out of this area of effect, her effects are still active and running.
Okay, interesting. That'll be something for later, but I'm still charging, running around.
All right, then. You see very slowly, very kind of languidly is the phrase I would use. Like he's in no hurry at all, making his way up the front stairs. You will see this individual.
Oh, that's not something you see every day.
Not usually.
Is he looking at us?
No, he's striding towards the doorway to the building.
Into the building?
Hmm?
Into the building?
He's about halfway up there's about 30 steps that lead up to the front door. He's about halfway up the steps.
Something tells me that this museum is a hermetic stronghold, whatever.
Actually, that is a good question, Evan. Being on the council, does Eliza have any knowledge about the chantries in the British Isles?
The Order of Hermes tend to keep their chantries very, very close to their chests. However, you can assume that them having a chantry in each one of the major kind of quote unquote capitals of the British Isles, because obviously the British Isles is one of the most magically active areas still left in the world, is not unreasonable. So the fact is, they probably have one in London, one in Cardiff, which was destroyed, one in Edinburgh, which is here, and at least one in Dublin. So that's a safe assumption to make, but you don't categorically know where they are.
Fair enough.
So Zephyr's just gonna look at him and be like, "Hello."
There's that wonderfully yes, fine, thank you. There's that very slow kind of stop turn. Before there is the slip, there's the sound of the crack hiss as the sword is released from its scabbard.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We don't want trouble.
He looks at you with very, very cold eyes. Eliza, what are your crafting specialties or your technology specialties?
Knowledge specialties?
Technology, craft, things like that. Would Eliza be able to recognize what type of metal something is, sans the craft, by looking at it?
That's science metallurgy, I believe.
Yeah, that would be metallurgy or like blacksmithing. I have machinery, engines, engineering, mathematics, biology, electronics, and repairing.
No, unfortunately not. Would Zephyr have anything that might qualify?
Technically, Zephyr has Science 1. I didn't put a specialty in it.
Ha!
And considering she is Tony Light and was actually about to start learning how to do crafts, I was going to snag up metallurgy. But that is at your discretion.
I'll let you roll it. If you are willing to write in the spec as metallurgy from now on, that's fine.
Yeah. It's good. I swear to God, if you don't stop eating my new headset. Yeah. Give me one moment to roll it then. Oh man, are my before she rolls this, she will kind of take a step back so that she's all her effects are back up again, because I'm gonna be that bitch.
No, she won't, because that would mean she'd have to walk back at this point about 20 feet or so.
Oh. I didn't realize that we were inside.
You guys kept walking after the effect kicked in.
I thought we were still outside, like he was walking up the front steps to the place.
No, as you rounded the corner basically about half a block away, it happened.
Okay, that's still 3 successes. So
yeah, okay. The metal of the sword is actually pretty interesting. Unlike it's pictured here, the hilt and the handle is entirely made of black metal that looks to be possibly some kind of iron derivative. And then the blade itself is gray and has a kind of an ashen, wavy effect to it, which looks like a bastardization of Damascus steel, but is like you look at it and kind of go, that's very peculiar.
That is
Its
very.
armor, for the record, it appears to just be made of ordinary steel.
Yeah.
And who might you be?
That depends on who's asking.
He points down at Zephyr with the gloved hand and he says, "You have the bearing of someone who can handle a sword." Question: Are you wearing your sword?
Technically, she has her. Oh, Jesus Christ. She has her Xiphus, but it's because it's kind of like a short sword. She's got it hidden under her like really long, as you know, seen in the picture, kind of really long jacket that hangs down to about her knees.
Cool. Give me a moment. I'm going to let him roll a perception alertness to see if he can actually identify it. It's going to be a stupidly difficult roll, but might as well see what we can see.
Yes, I love you, Biscuit. Mwah. Don't
We
eat my.
also love Biscuit.
He's been a bad boy because he's very angry because he has a lot of pin feathers, but he won't let anyone help him with his pin feathers, and he doesn't preen them himself.
Okay. He will look down at her and he will say, "You look like an individual who can handle the blade you attempt to hide from the world."
Indeed.
So,
What?
do we stand here simply by the gift of Providence, or are there some words that you would exchange with me before I go to work?
Are you the one known as Mordred Bonnie Dene?
Yes, that was a name.
You're probably going to stab me. My name is Elizabeth Hoff Bonnie Dene.
When I was first awakened, they told me with such pride that they had murdered my brothers and my sisters.
Who the fuck are they?
The Order of Hermes.
They did. A lot of them. Look, I can explain it to you here. Have you ever been to the Dene Chantry in Dublin? What is today Dublin?
When it had another name and when it served another master, yes, I stood there.
It fell dormant. And 2 years ago it became active again. That is when myself and a group of other people entered it. Myself and my friend Lottie underwent the trial of Bondine.
Interesting. So, you take on a mantle. A pretty word. Fascinating, I'm sure. However, there is merit to the statement, I suppose. Being the successor to the apprentice. Interesting. Very interesting. He just talks like that. He appears to be having a conversation with himself, kind of piecing dots together in his head. But he will look down and he will finally say, I see. So you are the new apprentice of the apprentice. Interesting to know.
Bon Dene wasn't an apprentice.
He had a master.
He did.
When I knew him, he was an apprentice. Or rather, when he and my mother shared a teacher, he was an apprentice. A good man, yes. A man with ideals. A man with vision. I approved of Bon Dene. However, he was, I assure you, someone's apprentice.
By the time of his passing, he was Grand Master of the Dene. Look, I would like to ask you to come with me to the Chantry.
Why?
Because it's a lot less awkward than standing here talking outside of this fucking building.
I have work to attend to in this building.
You're going to kill everybody in this building, aren't you?
Those who have the honor to fight. Those who die, die. Those who flee, well, they are no longer my concern. This world has forgotten the concepts of honor. I do not butcher children, as they so gleefully told me they did.
Can I join you up there?
Would you like to roll me some perception empathy?
Sure.
Both of you can roll that sweet. Oh, Jesus, this is a Kim character. No way it has empathy.
First of all,
Am I wrong?
yes, you are.
Oh dear. Run away.
She has empathy, and my vampire has empathy.
Yeah, but your vampires have because their disciplines were of empathy.
I have no successes.
I've got 2.
You said he's more disgusted with the fact that the fact of killing. He doesn't really seem to care about the fact that they killed children. It's the fact that they killed children. If you get me, like killing the children. If they had killed them in what he considered to be an honorable way, he wouldn't care. But it's the fact that they killed them in what he considers to be a dishonorable way.
Eliza's going to walk up the stairs to stand next to him.
Well, how tall is Eliza?
Not very tall. Let's see. What is her height? Whoever gave her a height? Yeah, I believe she's like 5'6", 5'7".
He's not that much taller. He's only about 5'8", 5'9". But he will look into Eliza's eyes. Neither of you can perceive chimerical reality, can you?
No.
Zephyr, do you have more bullshit on your sheet?
No?
Okay. But he will look into her and he will say, "And why are you standing here? Last of a line."
Because I want to talk to you. And want to talk to you when you haven't killed these people yet.
What is it you would have known of me or from me?
Everything.
Everything.
Listen. Me and Lottie succeeding in a trial. We're gifted. Chose to take up the name of Danae. But outside of the Keeper, outside of all the books, outside of the remnant memories that have been so strongly resonating within the Chantry, there's not a lot to go on. I want to talk with you and learn from you what the Danae is. And if possible, I would like your aid in helping us clear the Danae name from all this false bullshit that's been heaped upon it. And I'm staring him straight in his eyes as I'm talking to him. I would much... I know what Tremere have done. I saw it. Felt it.
If you guys would like to perk empathy him again. Go, 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 Zephyr! Go, 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 Zephyr! Sorry.
No successes!
How many successes?
No successes.
Oh dear.
2 successes.
Zephyr's just all like, I see you. I see your feels.
What?
Okay, you have no idea. Clearly she said, okay, you've got no real idea what the Tremere are really as an entity, but the way Eliza said it sounded like it should have had a lot of weight and gravitas to it. Like this is, they did something. When you say that, you only seem to get confusion from him. Like he has no idea what the hell she's talking about.
Zephyr's just gonna kind of awkwardly like lift up a finger and just be like, "Hey, Eliza, I don't think he knows."
Oh. Fuck, that's another fucking thing. Shit! How did you even get here? How long have you been not active?
The last year I remember was the year 990.
Oh.
Before it was, the master of Bondonay placed me in a coffin, sealed away for all it was time.
Oh. That's awkward.
It was only the love he bore for my mother that meant that he did not strike me from all that was.
Why would he strike you?
This is what happens when a father... How to phrase? This is what happens when a man who thinks of himself as your father because of his love for your mother cannot understand when a man must claim his birthright from his own blood.
Fair point. Then you don't know. Sorry. My apologies. Sorry, this is just really fucking stressful. Roughly 600 years ago. The Order of Hermes were a couple of houses. Magic. The Danae were one. And Tremere were one. The Tremere were liars. Fools. To cast suspicion away from themselves, they decided to blame someone else, and the Order bought it. House Tremere eventually conducted their fancy little ritual, whilst they pointed everybody in the direction of us. They became undead, vampires, and became a scourge for the world. We've been searching, looking, gathering up information and evidence for old chantries of the Tremere to find out proof it's happened. So we can clear the Danae's name. Because I would much rather see the Order of Hermes, their head in the fucking floor, on their knees, weeping, and forever working to make even a fraction of something right for what they did to us.
Ultimately, right, wrong, good, bad. These are all just construct thoughts.
They're directions of the self. There's no universal feeling of right and wrong. What is good can be right. What is good can be evil. What evil can be. Get the point.
He will turn. Sorry, he turns on his heel and he starts to walk down the stairs, and he will say, "The Order of Hermes. These individuals who think that they can speak and play God will someday learn the fact of the folly of the words they speak and the actions that they take. They will see it when it falls from ashes from their lips, when it all turns to dust upon their fingertips. It is a simple, clean truth. I will spare these individuals here gathered, because you have asked me to do so. And many people will have called me many things, bastard born, the child of incest, he who slew a king. However, I will not have it said that I am without some semblance of mercy. But he will turn on his heel and he turns at the bottom of the stairs and looks back up. He will say, ultimately, we have been allowed some semblance of second chance in you, Miss Eliza Hoth. Actually, no, did you ever give him your full name?
Yeah, Eliza
Okay.
Hoff, Bonnie Danae.
Yes, Miss Eliza Hoth. Bon Danae was a good man. He saw the potential in people. He danced at the lunar festivals and he exalted the sun as it rose. He knew the names of the old gods and sang them loudly and with praise and promise. My own patron is somewhat less joyful, shall we say, but I could still appreciate the man for what he was. I will spare the lives of this chantry. Yes, because it is you have asked me to. However, they are not my friends. They are not my allies. They are, as you said, beings to scrabble and scrounge in the dirt for what they have done. I have other business to attend to then. If my rage shall not be vented upon them, then I must find the false father who deigned to lock me away for all that was time. And it is very much past due to have a suitable family reunion.
Mordred, I don't think you'll need it. But in case you need a place to eat, buy the old chantry.
He looks at you and he says, so as it is, the full moon comes, until it vanishes away from the sky. All things come and all things pass. However, I shall see you again, when it is the pale moon rise, and the stars flicker in auburn light. I shall look forward cloaked one, to crossing swords with you sometime. If it helps, I believe that one day you will finally place me to rest.
It's it probably isn't my place to set you to rest. I'll leave that to your housemates.
He will smile. You'll see him draw a knife from his belt, and he impales himself through the throat, like right back. You see the blood gorge out of the wound in an incredible torrent flow before he withdraws the knife in a sickening kind of noise. But as he withdraws the knife, it is as if there's nothing there. There's no blood. There's no wound. And he says, "An old Geas. I can only die if slain in honorable combat. No magic, no tricks. Sword against sword."
And you believe your housemates wouldn't give you that sort of a death, then?
I do not necessarily know. I do not know what they're capable of. Anything is possible. In that case, he looks down at Eliza and he will say, "I will see you again, scion of the new line."
Till the new moon rise.
And with that, he will depart. I am quite happy to talk to you guys briefly, but I do have to go. So I'm going to assume we will call Nightshade, who will pursue home.
Yep.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.